What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our ACC football channel. We're trying to get things cranked up here on this channel and on all of our conference channels. And I wanted to give you my thoughts on the spring game from the Clemson Tigers. We'll talk about what we saw in this spring game, and then also kind of look ahead to 2019 and how this spring game maybe impacted my opinions, my thoughts on this Clemson team. So let's get right into it. There were several different things that really jumped out at me when I watched this spring game. I don't even know where to start. We'll go kind of position by position, starting at the quarterback position. Trevor Lawrence obviously is going to be a superstar this year. Has a real good shot to win the Heisman Trophy. But what actually maybe stood out to me more was Chase Bryce. I think he might be the best backup quarterback in college football. We saw what he did last year, coming in there and leading them to the victory against Syracuse when Trevor Lawrence went down with an injury. Yeah, he looked good in this game. I think they're in capable hands if Trevor Lawrence does go down. I think this is a Clemson team that would win the ACC with Chase Bryce at quarterback. I think they're that good at the other position. So they're in an excellent spot at that quarterback position, as they have two guys that are very capable. The running backs did not look great in this game. The run defense looked very good. They seemed to win the battle with the offensive line most of the time. And, you know, that was one of the big question marks. They lost all those guys on the defensive line. The linebackers, you thought, how is this Clemson defense going to look? They were dominant in this game. The front seven, I thought, was dominant. They really shut down the run game for the most part. And I didn't watch all of the second half, so, you know, if something happened there that I missed, and maybe they got the run game going. But in the first half, the defense looked really good. They had a good pass rush as well. Trevor Lawrence was having to get rid of that ball pretty quick. You could tell they were working on him kind of moving around in the pocket, moving away from the rush. And at times, he did an excellent job. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence is going to be great this year. But the defense, I was very impressed with. The wide receivers, I was even more impressed with. We know T. Higgins, Justin Ross, but those two freshmen they've got, it's not even fair. When you've got receivers this good, when you've got a quarterback this good, I don't see how anyone's going to stop this passing game. You know, it does come back to the offensive line. They have to pass protect. If you can get pressure on Trevor Lawrence, then obviously that does change the game a little bit. But as long as they can protect him, this passing attack is going to be pretty much impossible to stop. They are going to just be so good, and just so many weapons at wide receiver. Again, talked about the run game, not a whole lot doing there. I thought the secondary was actually good. I thought they had great coverage for the most part. The wide receivers were just better. They were just winning the battles because they're that good. So again, defensively, Clemson looks very solid. No real drop-off from where they were last year, and that's scary. That is scary because this offense is going to be even better. And Clemson looks like they're going to march right through the ACC once again. Another storyline in this game was 17 early enrollees. Yes, 17 early enrollees. They were all over the place. How many times did you hear Dabo Swinney say, yeah, he's a high school senior. He's a high school senior. He's going to be a great player. Just a true freshman, but he's going to be a star. I mean, they had so many guys enroll early. I don't think I've ever seen a team have 17 players enroll early. Maybe it's happened before, I don't know, but that is really going to bode well for Clemson when you have all of these young guys that are getting this extra experience in the spring, and it just makes them even more dangerous. I mean, again, coming out of the spring game, there was really nothing negative to say. Clemson looks like they are once again going to be one of the top two teams in the country. I haven't seen Alabama's spring game yet. I may come away after that game thinking that Clemson is clearly better than Alabama. Because it's going to take a lot for a team to beat Clemson, in my opinion. But, yeah, just a lot of young talent, it's just talent everywhere. This Clemson team is so good. A star that really emerged as a true freshman on defense was Sheridan Jones. He is a defensive back for this Clemson team, and he had a monster game. Had 7 tackles, had a tackle for loss, a forced fumble. He had an interception return for a touchdown. Just an unbelievable game, again, as a true freshman. Talked about these two true freshman wide receivers that are in there. It was just a great day for Clemson to see these young guys. And they play real football. They go out there and play real football. I wish other teams would do this. Yes, they kept the quarterbacks up. They didn't have it to where you can hit the quarterbacks. They were not live. But other than that, everything else was live. You had kickoffs, you had punts. It was just really, really fun to watch. Clemson always has the most entertaining spring game because they play real football. So hats off to them and Dabo Swinney for doing that. I liked what he said. He said, I don't know any other way to prepare than to go out and play real football. If you go out and you practice scared, you're going to play scared. And I just really like that mentality, especially in the spring. I mean, a guy could get injured, but he's probably going to be okay by fall camp. I mean, I guess there are rare times when a player can get a significant injury, but you know, these guys are still hitting each other. The injuries could still happen. I guess, you know, that they do increase that chance a little bit, but just go out there and play football. That's what I want to see. That's what I really like the most about this game. I'm not a Clemson fan. I know it sounds like I'm raving on this team. I'm just going by what I saw in this game, and I was really impressed with Clemson. Again, you look ahead to 2019. I don't see a team touching them in the ACC. I really don't. A team would really have to surprise. Trevor Lawrence would probably have to go down with an injury. And again, I don't know if that's enough. I think with Chase Bryce at quarterback, they probably still win the ACC. Some people talk about that Texas A&M game being a big test, but it's at home. They're not losing that game. I would be very surprised if they lost that game, and I don't even expect it to be really close. It might be somewhat close, but I think Clemson's clearly the better team. Like I said, they're one of the top 2 teams in the country right now. I think they're going to march all the way to the college football playoffs. Not saying that they're going to win the national championship, because there are some good teams that they're going to have to probably go through once they get to the playoffs. But I would say that it's almost a guarantee this Clemson team will be back in the college football playoffs, and this spring game did nothing but reassure me that that's going to happen. Again, very impressed with this team. I'd love to get your thoughts, especially if you're a Clemson fan. What did you see with your team? What did you like? What did you not like? Anything you want to add to this video, feel free to do that down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more here on our ACC football channel.